Most statues or pictures show Jesus nailed to the cross by his palms, yet it's been said that the Romans nailed it through the wrist. Are there any thoughts on either way? I've seen both. When you're looking at it from a purely medical perspective and linguistic perspective, where does my hand begin and my arm end? In some of the ancient cultures, when they draw a hand, they draw the arm too. So when they use the word hand, it could mean anywhere from here to here. Looking at it from just a purely physical perspective, if they tied ropes around the wrists to hold someone in place, you could put it in the hand and that would be okay. If you don't tie ropes around the wrist when you nail them to the cross, the weight of their body will pull the body and it'll rip. Just like if a child grabs a woman's earring and pulls on it, it will not stay in her ear. You know this. The weight of the body would not support in the middle of the hand as we would imagine. If you put it toward the wrist, the way that the bones and the muscles are constructed, without ropes, it could support the weight of the body. So, depending on if they tied Jesus' wrist when they nailed it through the hand, or they put it through the lower part of the hand, or they put it through the wrist, it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, as long as it goes through that part of the body. The reason for that is, and I don't know if you guys know how crucifixion works, there's a nerve that runs through the hand and arm and connects in the spinal column. It's on both sides. It's called the medial nerve. And what happens with that particular nerve is when there is pressure on it, like a nail going through it, the diaphragm, which controls your breathing in and out, is allowed to bring air into your lungs, but it will not allow them to release the air. So you can breathe in, but you can't breathe out. The reason that they bent Jesus' legs when they nailed him on the cross is because the only way to breathe out is to lift yourself using your feet, putting the weight on the nail in your feet, to lift yourself, taking the weight of your body off of your arms, and when that weight is no longer there, you can breathe out. Then, when you are so tired of it, you lower yourself back down because it's painful. You can breathe in, but you can't breathe out again until you push up, which if you remember from the gospel passages, it said that when it was getting close to the time for the preparation for the Sabbath, the soldiers broke the legs of the thieves, but they didn't break Jesus' legs because he was already dead. The reason they broke his legs is because when they break the legs, you cannot push up, you cannot take weight off the medial nerve, and you cannot exhale, which means you suffocate within minutes. That's how it works. And because that nerve runs all the way through the hand and arms, it does not matter where the nail was, as long as it's in the nerve itself, which the size of the nail would have been big enough that it would be impossible to miss the nerve. So with crucifixion, ultimately, the way that you die is suffocation. You suffocate because you are unable to lift yourself. You're so tired, you're so weak, and eventually you run out of, you can't breathe out. So you don't run out of air, you just can't let it out.